Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to round number 9 of season 19 of Division 3 here in F1 Total. And this time out, it is a mystery Grand Prix, so we don't actually know where we are racing just yet, because right here, I have a wheel, and for some reason, I was entrusted to spin the wheel and determine which circuit we will be racing at. So, without further ado, let's get the wheel spun and see where the drivers will be racing tonight. Is it some Britain reverse, so they can have fun with arguably one of the worst tracks in this game. So I'm sure everyone will enjoy that. Britain reverse, have fun. Yeah, it's not nice on the battery.
Well, that's an interesting track for us to go racing again, on again, and it's also the same one that Division 3 had in the Mystery GP last season.
Oh, it was, wasn't it?
Which, yeah, that's rather unlikely, I think, to have the same track twice.
Yeah, I mean, out of, what, there'll be like 15 of them on the wheel, and Division 3 goes first every time. So, and yeah, it's very, very battery starved, arguably worse than Britain Forwards in that regard. And, yeah. Good luck to the drivers. Division 2 was complaining about not wanting Austria again.
Yeah, because they've had Austria reverse twice. They wanted Austria reverse off the wheel. I told them to get fucked, and it's the luck of the draw.
I'm actually gonna go.
And now Division 3 has gone and got fucked, so they have gotten the same track again that we had last season.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a new game. And I think this is a track you see so rarely that it's not like this is a track that feels boring, in my opinion, at all. It's actually quite. I think having the reverse tracks on Mystery is the perfect track to get on a Mystery wheel, because it really, like, every other track these drivers will know well, will have done before, especially those who have been racing for a while, and these reverse tracks. No league ever does reverse tracks for a reason.
Horrible. Yeah.
And because they also are not ever on our, well, so far at least, I'm not ruling it out at some point in the future. Probably not, but who knows. But they are on our wheel for the mystery tracks, and it's luck for the draw. We've gotten once again a reverse layout.
Yeah, and the battery problems are going to be very, very clear, because I'm pretty sure from what I've heard of this track, it's basically the same as Silverstone, except just the nature of the layout means the battery's just even worse. Because Silverstone Forwards is horrible for battery, and then Silverstone Reverse.
I mean, yeah, it's the same layout. I mean, there isn't. I think it's probably a bit better on battery.
I don't know. I've heard it's about the same or worse. So.
Okay, fair enough. Where have you heard that? Who's done the track enough to know that? Like.
Yeah. It's because you go from.
From the exit of like club.
Yeah.
To Stowe without braking.
Yeah.
But that's the same the other way around as well.
So then, like, you've done all of that just after you've done the pit straight, and like you
do on normal layout all of that just after you've done the Wellington straight. I think it should end up being about the same.
Yeah, quite possibly.
But for sure, it's going to be an interesting race in store for us. They've got 10 cars on the grid, so that's not exactly an amazing grid, but it's not the worst either. And I think, especially on a track like this, I can still expect a solid race.
Yeah, they've got straight mode 5 times as well, which
5 times.
5, yeah. In Silverstone, in real life, they only had 4 because they didn't have the one from Cops into Maggots, but.
Oh yeah!
In reverse, I guess they
already had a DS on there, on the, well, not last game, before the DLC. So they kept that for the straight modes.
No, there was a straight mode into on the old pit straight. The DRS was the old pit straight. They've put one into cops this time with the straight mode.
I think both have one. So it's 5, and on a normal layout it's 3.
Yeah.
That should make the battery better, actually, in theory at least, because that's what the straight modes are there for in real life, to prevent as much battery usage.
Yeah, I don't know, because you come out of the pit lane or you start your lap. You've got the first chicane, which is about the same in terms of braking as forwards. Then you go into Stowe, and like you barely break through Maggots and Beckett's and all of that, or Chapel then Beckett's then Maggots, and you kind of have. But then you would have to be deploying there to get the better exit. Whereas in forwards, you're just recharging that entire section. Yeah, I don't know how it's going to be. You've got Lux Apex and Scooby-Doo, the first two, heading out onto the circuit. They've they're the only two going out at this stage. Most people, I don't know, they're just considering what to do.
I've already had 2 people in my DMs crying that the setup spreadsheet doesn't have a reverse Britain option.
Just go for the forward one.
20% of the grid needing me to tell them to use the normal Britain setup is concerning. Use your brains, people.
And the difference with reverse tracks has always been like maybe 2 on the front wing and a slight change of suspension.
Yeah, like if you made a setup specific for reverse Britain, it would be very, very slightly different than the normal Britain layout. But you can just use normal Britain layout setup and not be in any trouble.
Yeah. And it's not a big difference at all.
The thing is, on the 25 game, I actually made the claim, and I still stand by it, that the reverse layout for Britain was significantly better, at least for racing. I think the normal one still flows better, like it's more fun to drive, but the racing product was way better on the reverse layout, because the dirty air wasn't as bad. The corners you had onto the long straights weren't as impacted by dirty air.
You don't have Chapel going straight onto the hangar straight, because Chapel doesn't really make as much difference, at least with the dirty air side of it.
I mean, you do now have Stowe and Cops, which isn't ideal either, but what does happen quite a lot on the reverse layout, because the exit curbs end rather early, because they're meant to be entry curbs, people understeer off into the grass. That kind of creates racing.
Yeah, at Cops, just everyone goes straight on their first couple of laps. And you can see Scooby coming down into Cops. He's already at 10% battery.
Oh yeah, the battery is cooked on this lap, and that's going to be a huge issue in this qualifying session for everyone.
A little bit into the grass through Cops, and now he's on 0, heading all the way down the old pit straight and into Luffield before Brooklands. It's a horrible corner this as well. You have to be so tight, but then the corner just makes you want to drift so wide. They need to stay tight to open up the corner into Brooklands. You come through, and then it's, again, no battery for Scooby as he heads down into, like, around the loop. This part's flat, and you'll probably be lifting for the entire section in the race. And you spot the braking zone, which can be difficult to do. Rotate it through, and then it's now flat to the line. And then again, just the battery problem is going to arise again for Scooby as he crosses the line to do a 31.2 as our first run. And I imagine pretty much everyone won't have driven the reverse layout on this game, and they'll be not really knowing where to deploy the battery, not knowing just the lines to ideally take, because there's only, even with the racing line on, you still kind of need to know where you're going to take an ideal line.
Yeah, I mean, I think last time around the people were actually more prepared for this race than they were than they are this time, because last time around we had test races before the season started. We had 3 of them at the 3 reverse layouts. So people would have already done Silverstone reverse, or at least those that the test race would have done Silverstone reverse on the 25 game. And also just because the reverse layouts were new at the time, I think there was at least a little bit of just doing them because they're new, you know. But now they've been in the game for a year, and it actually leads to them having like less people racing them.
Yeah, And I think also it's that we're earlier in the game cycle than we were last season, because last season was basically the end of 25, and so there was a higher chance you'll have done the game already because you'll have done more done the track on the game, because you'll have done more races on the game at more tracks.
Yeah, that as well. I mean, the guys who did it obviously last season, which is honestly not even that many, I think. Flavors, obviously, Akusin would have been around then, Action Rig. I think those are the only three, really, who were around in Division 3, anyway, last season for the Mystery Grand Prix. So, for many of these, will be a new track, since they have done in other leagues. But at least for those, they have done it on the pre-DLC, or the 25 cars.
Yeah.
So the main thing they need to adjust to is the battery. They will at least know sort of... Well, they've raced it once, assuming they haven't raced it somewhere else, which they probably haven't. So they will still like be fairly in the dark of what to do, but they at least have something, you know?
Yeah. And they don't need to spend so much of qualifying just figuring out the actual corner lines. They can spend more of it figuring out the battery. Yeah, so we saw Zemeckis go fastest there with a 130.4 to go about 8 tenths ahead of Scooby, and now Flavors going 100th ahead of Scooby.
But look at this onboard, and just look at the steering wheel on the amount of fuel he has in the car. He's got 27 laps of fuel. Because I actually told him, because he asked me how he should practice for this. And I told him, you can't practice, that's the whole point. Just use qualifying as practice. Put race fuel in the car and just do laps. That's the best thing you can do.
I don't think quite 27 laps is what you need, but...
Well, it's a 26 lap race, yeah.
Yeah, but then...
He's done what I told him to do. He put like a 30 odd laps or something in the tank, and it's just going round and round, getting a feel for the track.
Because Pocho's gone faster there by almost 1.6 seconds over Zemeckis, so clearly someone that has a bit more of an idea how to deal with these cars of this circuit. Maybe just, I don't know, just if you have a better understanding of the battery generally and how to manage it, even if you don't know specifically for the track, you can kind of pick it up as you go along.
Pocho actually said in the chat just now, or a few minutes ago, that he was racing this track with Marco, a friend of his, who raced it last week as well. Recently, I'm not sure if he raced it today or something, but he just happened to have done like a 5 lap or something. I don't know.
I mean, or like a career mode race or something, anything really, just adds that bit of experience.
I don't know what they did, but they drove it.
Yeah, Lanky's done a 30.1 to go 3 tenths behind, 3 tenths ahead of Zemeckis, still 1.3 away from Pocho. So yeah, he's not.
Pocho's gap is huge.
Doesn't look like he's going to be under any trouble anytime soon, but. When it's like this, as Jonathan does a 30.0, when people are still basically learning the track as they go, the improvements will be large.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think also the main favorites, I think, for the front today are going to be Pocho and Flavors. None of the other top guys have turned up really. Alex Apex well actually, and Akusin, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Lanky. But well, I think Lanky has never been the fastest in this division.
No,
he just has brain cells.
Yeah. As Action Rick's retired, having done 1 lap, he's just not bothered. He's in the pit lane and just chose not to go out again, which is
that's an interesting decision. Surely, even if you think you can't improve on your lap time, you just do laps and practice.
I don't know if he's just unable to drive more for whatever reason. As Scooby coming into the final corner, he's on an outlap. Axon coming around with... he's also on an outlap with a full battery as well, so he's obviously not going to be setting a time. You've got Flavors coming into the final couple of corners through the loop and then round to the left through what is originally turn 3. Then he takes us in towards Abbey. He's going to be back into the pit lane. Flavors not choosing to finish this lap. Lanky coming into the pits as well. It's going to be Jonathan next. He's out of fuel, so he's going to be coming back in.
That's Apex invalid. I think Peta is the next one over the line, but he's on a slow lap as well, I believe.
And yeah, he's only just coming through Sector 1 as well. I think he's just...
Scooby's on a push lap. And on 0 battery before Cobbs.
Yeah, it's not ideal.
And he's going straight on. Someone else valid. So I guess he lost enough time that it's considered valid, but that was definitely far from ideal. And far from track limits. But so far, Pocho 1.2 seconds clear of anyone. Jonathan in second place, followed by Lanky. Impressive stuff that you can, I think, really see the advantage Pocho has of actually having done the track recently. That probably wouldn't be as extreme at any other track, like a normal track, you know, that people actually know.
And it obviously none of the tracks that were on the wheel are on our calendar, but a more common track is more likely to have just been driven in open lobbies and just whenever. Scooby improves by 3.5 tenths to go up into P5 with a 130.8. That puts it, I don't think it actually improves any positions, as Axon goes in second with a 30.0 to go just ahead of Jonathan, still 1.2 behind where Pocho is. Yeah, and you can see there's it wasn't a big improvement in his first lap, but it just shows that. And he's probably still got a decent bit of time in that lap, I'd guess. There's a couple of drivers going out again now. That's Flavors and Pocho. Going out at 6:40 probably means they're not going to be... You know, if they do come back in again, they're not going to make it out. Because it won't be enough time to do a run, come back in, and then go out and do another run. Especially to a long track like Silverstone.
It's a long pit lane as well.
Yeah, long track, long pit lane. You're not going to make that.
Talking about a long pit lane, that will be an important factor in the race as well. Because I remember from last game, obviously Silverstone itself already had quite high tire wear and the one stop was marginal, but you had to do the one stop because it's such a long pit lane. And then on the reverse layout, the tire wear was even worse. So it became basically a complete tire saving race whenever you did do reverse Silverstone. Because you just had to make the tires last any way you could for the one stop, because obviously pitting is like a 30-second time loss. You're never going to make that time up unless the guy ahead punctures. So everyone was just driving the whole race not to puncture. Yeah. I think that will be a little bit better on this year, because just naturally from the lift and coasting, from the battery management, you will have less tire wear. But it will still play a factor, I think.
I think especially at a track like Silverstone, where you're doing so much lift and coast because of how bad the battery is, you'll be especially reduced on the tyre wear. And I feel like this layout wasn't quite as bad on the tyres as forwards, but it
was much worse, I think.
Was it?
From what I remember, like, because I did I did actually one like quite competitive race, team event for VNT, and I remember there was like 5 punctures. And I myself was in puncture range. And then there was like 3 others who were two-stopping, like, it was definitely marginal. And that was with drivers at and mostly above my level.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if that will mean more or less tire wear, because they're going faster, but they are also more capable of saving their tires. Probably less tire wear.
And ran into the grass there coming through Cops, so it's not been an ideal lap for Pocho. I don't know if he's going to actually be able to find any more time as he takes us through Brooklands, and we'll see what it's like after the first 2 sectors. As he crosses the line, he's found a tenth, he's found almost 3/10 of the swing through sector 2. He's now a 10.5 up, heading down into that final sector, gets it to stop around the loop, a little bit of a lock-up on that entry curve designed to be an exit curve. It's just not ideal to be running over in that way, but he's made it work, not gone too deep, and he's going to burn his battery as he heads up to the line and should be able to find a little bit more time. Is a bit over 1/10 to go to 28.757. And again,
Lux Apex is next, 2 turns up.
And extends that benchmark even further. He's already so far ahead. It's now over 1.25 seconds for anyone to find if they want to get close to him. And
Lux Apex over the line, and after the final sector he finds 5 whole seconds, 29.320, jumps into second place.
It's a huge improvement, and it's still 6/10 away from Pocho, but he cuts the deficit from second place to Pocho in half, just like that.
I believe up next would be Zemiku, but okay, 3 seconds down, so the next one after that is Lanky.
Lanky's up
with
by
7 tenths up after the first sector. And after sector 2, 1.2 seconds up. Huge improvement coming from Flavors. That would already put him at 29.2, which would be enough for the front row.
Yeah,
and if he can find another half a second in the last sector, he can try and match Pocho as well and claim pole position.
Yeah, Lanky's up by 1.2 as he comes through the first 2 sectors, so he just needs to find another 10th in this final sector, and he could really be up there, challenging for the pole as he comes around the final corner, across the line. And he finds a second, he loses a bit in that final sector, but he goes only 3/10 away from Pocho, and possibly with the time to back off and go for another run later if the tyres allow him to.
I don't think they will. The tyre wear is not going to be...
Pocho's coming back into the pit lane. So Pocho is done if anyone can get close to him. Peta is improving but hasn't validated, so that's not going to count. Lux Apex is still out there and might be trying to go again. Zemiku is 2/10 down through Sector 1 and out of battery coming into turn... Oh, just coming into Luffield, that is. And then we got Scooby coming, he's on the melt lap coming into Cox. Behind him is the Williams of Ackerson, who could also be in with a decent chance of challenging. He's 3/10 up on his personal best at the moment, but he's completely out of battery as he heads down the old pit straight.
Oh, Lux Apex is going again on a used set. We'll see if that works out for him. Peta and Ackerson are the ones currently on the way as well.
Yeah, Ackerson just taking us through Luffield into Brooklands. I'm not sure if he's still going. I think he is. No,
he's recharging now, yeah. He's probably down and now looking to go again next lap.
It's hard to tell whether it's recharging or just lifting and coasting. Pocho is trying to go out again, but he doesn't have the time. He's not getting... Yeah, he's given up.
No, he's retired now.
Yeah, okay. I just saw him coming out the pits, and I was thinking, you don't have the time to do all that. Lux Apex, 3.5 up through Sector 1, and can possibly, if the tyres last to the end of the lap, improve further and jump up into that fight for pole position. Is it too much of a stretch to say that?
I don't know, because it's going to be a tough ask trying to gain 6/10 on a used tyre.
He found 3.5 through Sector 1 as he comes into Luffield. The tyres really showing their age. He loses the rear coming in through the sort of the second part of the corner. Still 3.5 up though, coming down the Wellington straight and in towards the loop.
Peta finds 1.3 seconds, 33.1, but that's still P10 unfortunately.
I think Lux Apex has run out of fuel there when he was 3.5 up, and he's not going to be improving now. And surely, as Lanky does go again, he's half a second down through Sector 1, Lanky's not going to be improving. I think that is it for qualifying, unless... No, Ackerson's still going.
Jonathan and Ackerson are both still going.
It's hard to tell because everyone's doing their laps at different times. Yeah, Ackerson and Jonathan are both still going.
Scooby's also still going, and Flavor, I think, also has to start the lap. Yep, Flavor's up by 8/10 in the first sector. I think this is Flavor's first proper push laps. He's been doing only the laps on race fuel, so we're going to see a big improvement from him if he gets the lap together. He's only given himself this one shot right at the end, though.
Ackerson 6/10 up through Sector 1.
Currently 7th for the V-Cup driver, 30.880 is previous best. Let's see if we can try and get ahead of Zemiku at least. Over the line, that's a 30.827. Now he loses quite a bit of time in the last sector and stays in P7. Now Jonathan down to the last few corners, currently in P5 on a 130.086. Very close.
Ackerson's over 6/10 up as well. He's going to cross the line. And he jumps up into P3 with an 8/10 improvement. Puts him to 29.1. Can't get him ahead of Lanky. Jonathan next car. He's still got a very healthy amount of battery as he comes across the line. It's a half-second found, but he can't jump up any positions. It's 29.5 for him. Then it's just Flavors
1.5 up.
It's just Flavors left on the lap as he heads into the final corner now. He's out of battery as he crosses the line, but he goes fastest with a 2.5 second improvement at the end to take it away from Pocho right at the death by a 10.5. Huge improvement in his first proper push lap of the session, and I dare say that run plan has worked out pretty nicely for him.
Yep, I told him the run plan, so I take at least like 85% credit for the pole position lap as well.
Yeah. Just completely...
No, seriously, that's very, very solid from Flavors. With only the one lap right in the end. Under pressure. He would have been dead last if it didn't work out. Well, not quite actually. I think even on his full tank of fuel. Yeah, so Flavors, Pocho, Lanky, Ackerson, Lux Apex, Jonathan, Zemiku, Scooby, Action Rig, and Peta, our grid in order.
Yeah, I think I want to say Flavors got the pole last time here. I think. I can't remember. He was definitely up there in qualifying. In like last season when we raced around her. And then yeah, he's put it like Apex disconnects, need to get him back in time. Stuck it on pole with just the one attempt, and fair play to him.
Yeah, impressive stuff. In general, quite a few drivers who I think improved a lot throughout the qualifying session. Pocho, of course, I think he was looking strong early on, and he kept up there the whole time. But the others found a lot of time throughout qualifying, and now I think throughout the race as well, we'll see people still learning the track a bit and still developing as they go into the race. And I reckon it's going to be a good race.
Yeah, it's... And again, people are going to be not quite knowing what to do with strategy, not wanting to commit to the two because it's going to be such a big time loss. But then at the same time, I don't know how the tyre wear's going to be. Whether we see safety cars from people not knowing the track, the runoffs aren't nearly as forgiving in the reverse layout because that's not what they're designed for. You're not going to have a huge runoff area in the...
I mean, Codemasters could have extended the the entry curbs of the normal way and the exit curbs of the reverse way, if they were bothered. But I think they enjoy the vibe of it being a bit shit.
Barriers, also, the barriers are modelled completely after the real circuits. They can't add a runoff area in the middle of the grandstand.
That's really bad at Zandvoort, for example. There's quite a few barriers that just stick out. And...
Is it turn 6? The right-hander, and if you get that slightly wrong, because you're still trying to take it flat, if you
understeer off, you go into a wall at 300.
And also it's the wall that sticks out awkwardly, and so you just pierce your rear tire and you just explode.
Also at the banking.
Yeah.
At the first corner or the last corner, normal way.
Yeah, if you're... Yeah.
If you're on the outside and you go over the bump,
if someone pushes you
by
off
the time you've landed, you've already hit the wall straight on at 320.
Yep. If someone just doesn't want you to overtake, they can just squeeze you slightly upwards,
they
and then your car loses control
you.
and you are dead. Yeah, because you just... If you get high enough, I think it's because you start bottoming out, you just completely lose control, and you are set on a one-way ticket to that wall.
The formation lap gets underway, and every driver will be looking to settle in for the race ahead, making sure their car is ready for the battle once the lights go out.
So strategy-wise, huge strategy options on show here.
I mean, it's one of those tracks you're not really going to be doing much else other than starting on the mediums.
Yeah, I mean, I actually reckon we'll see some two-stops.
Yeah.
Just from the tyre wear. I wouldn't be surprised.
There will be strategy differences, but if you're starting on any other tyre than mediums...
Well, you could do a hard medium. That's not a bad strategy either.
But if you're you're not starting
with softs
about the
same
around here.
Yeah, well, if you're starting with softs, you are, cooked.
You're going 2 laps, and then pray.
Yeah.
And pray. 2 laps... Oh, Lux Apex only just joined. Oh, yeah, he's in trouble. Here we go, though. 26 laps of Silverstone in reverse. Fire lights! It's lights out, and away we go. Pocho seemed to get a pretty good start, as did Lanky. Flavors again, not getting away well. Pocho leads into turn 1, Lanky in second place. Flavors hangs on to third, going wide there. That's Jonathan onto the curb already. It's a nasty turn 1 to try and go side by side, but Pocho leads away from Lanky, and Flavors not losing all too much in the grand scheme of things though, as he didn't get away well, but it's quite a short run into turn 1, didn't lose too much. Axing into 4th, Jonathan up into 5th. And yeah, not too eventful for a lap 1, as Flavors gets back past Lanky coming into Chapel there, and through Beckett's into Maggots now. He's got himself back up into that second place. Has he used a bit of battery to get there? Yes, he has. Is that going to cost him? Maybe. As the field already rather spread out.
Yeah, Pocho already quite far away. He might get the 1 second range on Flavors if Lanky tries to go for a move, but Lanky looks to be conserving the battery even more as Ackerson even goes on the attack. And Lanky has got a full battery at the moment. So he's gonna have to try and use some of that to stay closer to Flavors than he is right now. He's a little bit at risk of losing the 1 second range to the cars ahead.
Yeah, but look how much he's gaining now that he does start deploying, because Flavors doesn't have nearly as much as him. Neither does Pocho, but Pocho has more than Flavors does. That's the overtake section point. It's so early, actually, as it's just coming into the loop section. They've already got overtake mode for the next lap. Here comes Lanky on Flavors into the final corner. Takes that second place back that he earned pretty much at this point on the previous lap. He lost it coming into Chapel down the Hangar Straight. But he gets it back coming through the final corner and onto the pit straight. Going very wide there. That's
Lax Apex straight on.
Trying to reclaim the position he lost at the start of being an AI. It's a poor rejoin. Zemaku is pushed off the track. And now I think Lax Apex trying to give that position back as well. They've both lost out to Action Rick and Scooby-Doo, possibly Jonathan as well. But I'm not sure if Zemaku was ahead of him before.
I think Jonathan jumped Lax Apex on the start already, so he was already up in 5th.
Yeah.
Since Lax Apex was an AI. His AI actually did rather well to only lose 1 place by the time he took control though, which was, I think, going through stall.
Pocho has no battery, already coming down the old pit straight, and Lanky will gain all that time back as they head through. And just
will he? As Flavors goes up the inside, as Lanky is looking to really recharge the battery there. And that gives Pocho the opportunity to actually break the 1 second range. Lanky will now try and burn some of that to stay with him.
And there's a 30% ERS difference plus the overtake mode. Lanky should be able to close back up. But actually, when you think about how soon the overtake detection is, it's right there. And Lanky doesn't have it. So yeah, comes through the final sector now. Flavors is going to have the overtake mode on him. And it should be a fairly simple pass from Flavors if he wants to go through. Pocho is still struggling from the low battery. Lanky has so much more to deploy, even though he doesn't have the overtake mode now. He's still in the same situation as Pocho, because Pocho doesn't have it either, so it...
Lax Apex making his way back to the grid.
Pull away.
Ah, no, he doesn't go up the inside of Pet into the final corner. Decides better of it.
Is he going to think about it into turn 1? It's a similar sort of profile to the final corner. Peta goes wide, trying to afford him space. So they're still side by side. Peta does keep that position as Zemaku gets himself back past Action Rick. As they head down the Hangar Straight again. Is Flavors going to think about the move on Lanky? He's not going to have enough of an overspeed to do so. Lanky's back to within 8/10 of Pocho, still with a 30% ERS advantage. As Zemaku and Action Rick side by side through Chapel. Zemaku just keeping that place as Action Rick tried to fight back. Nothing he could really do there though.
Great racing there in the midfield. Now Scooby-Doo in the back of Action Rick, but he's out of battery, so he can't then look for any sort of move down to Cobbs. And a swap at the front as Flavors goes past again. Lanky once again. The two of them have caught back up to Pocho, who is low on the battery after pushing last lap, trying to get rid of them.
Well,
now Flavors is going to have to try and... Oh, Lanky might just re-overtake him. Although they both have a solid amount of battery, I think Flavors is safe for now. But then he will be at quite a big risk next lap, since he's low on battery, doesn't have the overtake, and Lanky has got a full charge and has got the overtake mode.
Yeah, Pocho's just using his battery a lot on that run into into Luffield, it seems like, and that gives him a big advantage by the time they get onto the Wellington Straight. It's just not long enough for the clipping to be such a big difference that they can actually close up to him by the end of the straight, because he has just about enough left at that point to keep his advantage that he built up on that run into Luffield. And so Flavors,
I think Pocho's doing a really, really good job here, keeping Flavors and Lanky away from himself.
Yeah.
I think Lanky is saving too much battery, because he keeps hitting 100%, and once you hit 100%, all the recharge after that is just wasted.
Yeah. I think it's quite a similar situation to what we saw in Austria, really.
Yeah, if he just deployed a little bit more, he would still be with Pocho, and right now he's actually lost Flavors.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to be using the boost button like at all. He seems to be mostly relying on medium and none, which is possibly a
I think he actually just only uses overtake to overtake.
Yeah, and he's using it there, as we say that. But now he's 1.5 seconds behind. It's going to be too little too late. And surely he's now going to lose the 1 second to Flavors, who is back into the 1 second of Pocho. Yeah.
That's really gonna put Lanky in trouble. So 2 ahead can now work together. He has got Akusin behind him though, so maybe they can also try and work together a bit to get back up towards the top 2. It looks like we have a fairly locked in top 4 there. Jonathan already 4.5 seconds away from them. And he is being hunted down by Zemiku, who has done very well over the last few laps after the collision with Lux Apex, gotten through Scooby-Doo in action again, and it's not too far from Jonathan either. And there goes Lux Apex up the inside of Scooby-Doo down towards turn 1. But he goes off as he brakes too late. Scooby-Doo doesn't send it back up the inside.
Scooby had a big slide as well coming through turn 1, which seemed to be what cost him the opportunity. I don't know if he got on that inside curve, which just cost himself a bit. Again, like, you can see Flavors and Pocho basically have no battery at all. And then Lanky, if he just used his, would be able to close back up, but he's just not using it when he could be. And I think that's the problem.
At this point, it's not even that simple that you just have to use it to get back into, because he's already lost, he's like 1.9 back. Well, just I think he's gone from 1.9 to 1.5, but he can't just burn for a bit and be back in it, because he will get to like 1.5, 1.4, then he runs out, and then he's in the same situation as them.
Yeah.
He sort of already had the issue. It's too late to fix it, now he has to kind of outpace them properly to get back in the fight.
I don't think it helps.
There's Lux Apex looking for a move in action rig.
I think part of the reason why he seems to be struggling, especially coming out of Cops, is he doesn't seem to be using the boost mode on the exit of it, which the other two are, which seems to be his Lux Apex there not wanting to stick it up the inside through entry, because that's just never going to end well. Although now he's trying to set up the move on action rig. Can he go around the outside? He's not quite going to be close enough. And so he just has to wait a little bit longer and can maybe go for the move on the hanger straight as they come out of the final chicane. Oh, Lanky's disconnected.
Oh, Lanky with disconnect. And that will not help us race whatsoever.
Really put the nail in the coffin for Lanky.
What I wanted to say earlier, I think we shouldn't be critiquing his EAS usage too much, because it is still quite good, I think. An issue that he will never have with this issues that with this deployment, is that he runs to 0, and that is something that I think a lot of other drivers are struggling with. And I think the EAS was Lanky's big trump card in the first race in Austria this season.
Yeah.
Cause in that race, like literally everyone was on 0 all the time, and he was the only one who had a sort of early grasp on the battery. And now, though, his really conservative deployment is maybe costing him a little bit. It's not crazy, you know, but I think it's costing him those final few tenths maybe that he's been missing to stay with them. Obviously now with the disconnect in the mud anyway, and we'll have to try and get back in the lobby and maybe he can recover to a podium spot. As Lux Apex has gone off again.
So, yeah, it's just coming through Luffield seemingly, getting a bit too eager on the throttle maybe and just dropping it. Because it's not even like the proper traction zone part of that complex. It's a little bit earlier than that.
Yeah, so, I wonder if he must have made contact or something, because he spun off in like the entry of it. But even then, what type of contact would make you spin out like that? It's an interesting place to to end up in the grass.
Game mode. Why is it showing me? I went and tried. Okay. Oh, it's because I've still got my wheel on. That's why. I was wondering why my game was. Sorry, I went on board with people and it would show like the side view of their car as if I've got like, you know, the right stick held down. It's because I have my wheel turned on. As there goes Flavors past Pocho. And can he now try and pull away? I doubt it. He's burned a fair bit of battery to get there, but he still does have the overtake mode for the rest of this lap. And you can see how much he pulls away there on the run into Cop. So I think, he's used a lot of battery to get there. He's now on 0, and Pocho will reel him in for the final part of this lap.
Yeah, I think Flavors is trying to get out of 1 second range of Pocho. That will not work, as Pocho has got too much battery over him on this straight. Even though Flavors now at the overtake mode will have a bit more deployment, Pocho is definitely close enough to stay within. And there's a yellow flag at the S section.
Petter. Yeah, Petter's gone through the grass, coming through sort of Beckett's part of the corner. I think possibly just running a bit deep through Chapel, getting on the grass, and having a spin because of that. I don't know, it's hard to see how these things happen without actually seeing them when they do. You kind of just have to guess. Pocho now has his pit light on, as does Flavors, which seemingly is for the two-stoppers. In comes Lanky from
That's a
fourth
two-stop.
place. Yeah, pitting lap
Too
8,
early
you
for
are
one,
not
definitely.
making the end. I think that might be what the game's default medium hard option was, pitting lap 8. Or like end of lap 8, Lanky's gone a lap earlier, onto set of the hard tyres, of course.
So yeah, now we're in the interesting phase. Whether people go for the 1 or the 2.
It should be a fairly
If you're gonna go for the 2,
tyres.
you should go as early as possible, really.
Yeah.
To actually make use of the undercut in some way. Because the worst thing that can happen to you, really, is you 2-stop and you end up in a train of 1-stoppers.
Yeah.
So you really want to get with the undercut and get ahead of those trains.
And both Flavors and
Pocho.
Pocho using up their entire battery as they come into Luffield now. The two fighting, trying to get to the pit lane first, seemingly. Both not having a worry about their battery if they are indeed pitting. It's a big snap from Flavors there on the exit of Luffield as they head down the Wellington Straight in towards the final sector. Both again draining their full battery, surely both coming into the pit lane. Or otherwise, the battery management just wouldn't make sense in this way. Flavors running deep, but almost hitting the back of Pocho, under braking. Pocho just braking a little bit earlier than the Haas driver, and surely the two peeled to the left and come into the pit lane. No, they're not. I would have thought with the way they were draining the batteries, they must have been both pitting, but they've both just...
No, they were just
they're just
having a little
fighting.
battle. I mean, they have got quite a nice gap in behind, so they could just kind of battle for the love of the game and not really worry too much about losing time. They've got the 1-2 between themselves, and it's just who wins now.
Assuming they both make
Zemiko is
the
pulling
end.
into the pit lane, though.
Yeah, assuming they make the end on the one stop, it looks that way. Because Lanky is there as a two-stopping option, but I think it's unlikely that he closes the gap for them.
Even Lanky was behind Akusin after the disconnect, and Akusin is 5 seconds back from them, so
Yeah.
I think that's not going to be too much of a concern.
And if they
And
puncture, yeah,
Zemiko
Lanky
for
would
the
be-
rest of the mediums, that's definitely a 2-stop.
Yeah.
Has to pit again.
And
Will come out in 9th. A little bit behind Lanky, but still ahead of Petter.
I don't know if Lanky's trying to go for an early stop on the one if tyre wear is that much lower than last game.
I mean, that's so early.
And because last game you could pit lap 10.
12.
Oh, you could pit 10.
12. If you pit lap 10, you're blowing up.
So
on the hard.
forwards you could pit lap 10 because it was 8%
Yeah,
to lap
on
mediums.
the reverse layout, my pit lap options were pit 11 and go above 80 on the hard, or pit 12 and go above 80 on the medium. Those were my options. I couldn't. I would have to bring one stint above 80% and risk a puncture. There was no other option. So lap 8, I think I would have blown up with about 5 laps to go.
Did he drop too far back coming through?
Oh yeah, Pocho doesn't have it. That's
he's
interesting.
so
because
good.
Flavors has a
Flavors
completely
doesn't
empty
have
battery and Pocho has a completely full one.
Yeah.
So that checks out, and now Flavors with the worst sector one ever. Holy shit! Completely misses the first corner and jumps over the curb of the of club.
Yeah, and Pocho has a full battery. If he wants to go past, he doesn't really need to.
Flavors can defend on this straight, but he won't have anything left for the next straights. So the move is definitely coming, and Pocho will go back to the lead. I think lap 10, now we're in the phase where you can pit and make a one-stop work, especially now with the reduced tire wear on this game. So I think Zemiko and Lanky are going to be our only two-stoppers, at least planned two-stoppers, I would say.
Yeah. As Pocho does get the move on Flavors going down the inside into Cop's corner. It's a bit of an easier overtake to do on this layout, to go up the inside into Cop's, because people aren't going to try and fight you, and there's a bit more of a straight into it that's actually a bit more of an overtaking opportunity. I don't know, it's like...
Yeah, I think the move, I would say the move into Cops is much more dangerous in this layout.
And you're not making it through side by side, which is partly why it's easier. Because
yeah,
on the outside isn't going
yes.
to try and stick it in there.
Because there's no runoff, and obviously on normal layout, if you're on the outside, you can still kind of stick your nose in, and even if you don't get space, as Flavors cuts into the pit lane. Lap 10, early stop for Flavors, but not too early for the one, I think. This will be a one. The question is, where does he come out in relation to Lanky? Because Lanky now had a 2-lap undercut, which is going to be quite big.
And took the fastest
on
lap
this track.
on one of those laps. So, yeah, he was.
I wouldn't be surprised if Lanky is back in range of Flavors, or even ahead of him now.
It'll be close.
There we go,
Lanky's-
Flavors onto the hards.
Lanky is 31 behind Pocho as they head.
Okay, then he won't.
Yeah.
Flavors now gets a cut to the first corner, obviously, and he will come out, I think.
And he's still not off the limiter
ahead of
yet,
Action
but
Rig?
he won't be that far ahead of Lanky.
He's almost spun.
So,
Holy shit. He comes on side by side with Action Rig.
yeah. So it's a decent.
So
undercut.
Lanky could be close to Pocho, actually. Because Flavors will definitely undercut Pocho. There's no question about that.
Oh, is Lanky going to ride
Lanky in the gravel. That will help.
He's possibly trying to push to try and stay close to Flavors and Action Wreck, but he goes wide through Stone. That's going to cost him all the way down the hangar straight now, because there's gravel there compared to the runoff, which you get in the forwards direction. You can see Pocho draining his battery all the way down. He's probably going to follow Flavors in and come in this lap now.
Yeah, you'd think so. I mean, in lap 11 is also just probably... I mean, the mediums for all of these guys have gone quite long, which is good to see. So the tire wear definitely is lower than it was on 25. And Pocho indeed coming to the pit lane.
Taking it very safe.
Very importantly important for Flavors that he came out just in front of Action Rig rather than just behind. And this way he got to have the full lap in clean air. Petter around at the S section again, unfortunately. Akasin into the pit lane as well, and so is Jonathan. Let's see, Lux Apex. He's looking to go for another lap, it looks like, and Scooby-Doo. He is also still swinging out. So yeah, not everyone in the pit lane just yet. And of course, hearts for all those who did pit.
You can see Flavors now coming through the first chicane. He's going to be comfortably ahead of Pocho as he comes out of the Vale chicane, and it is a big advantage that he has. He doesn't pick up the overtake mode on this lap, so he wasn't close enough to Scooby-Doo through the final sector, but he's going to get past him pretty easily coming into Chapel down the hangar straight, and Pocho is still quite comfortably ahead of Lanky and Action Wreck. So the undercut is that Lanky is now about 5 seconds ahead of Akasin. But then...
Yeah, Lanky's gained a lot of time over Akasin.
Yeah, but
the question is now, is
that
worth having to make another stop?
Oh, I like that Scooby-Doo, and that should allow Pocho to go through very comfortably. Yeah, Scooby...
Per the regulations, of course, Lanky could try and make the end. And, I mean, if there's, like, one driver on this grid who I'd think might have a chance to make that stint work, it is Lanky. But I'd be very surprised if the tire lasts that long.
I just don't know how much the tyre wears down compared to last game with all the lifting and coasting. You're not attacking the corner so much, but how much of a difference does that actually make? And is it enough to be a sort of 5-lap difference in terms of a stint length?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, if you pit at lap 9, lap 10, I would say yes, definitely you can go a lap or two earlier.
And Lux Apex is still out there on
that last game. Yeah, I think that's a good sign for Lanky that Lux Apex can go 12 laps on this medium.
Like, if Lux Apex is going to be doing, and he's going to finish this lap on the medium, so he's going to have done 13 laps by the end of this on one medium tyre, which makes you think the hards can comfortably do more than, if the mediums are doing half the race, the hards can do a lot longer. In theory.
I wonder also how Lux Apex's lap times are actually. Okay, he has dropped a lot of pace over the last 3 laps. Like, lap 10 was a 32.9, then 33.3, then 34.3. So he's lost about a second of pace now over the last couple laps. His fast lap was at 32.3, so the tire is definitely quite worn out.
Yeah.
But I'd say 2 seconds slower than PB is not like it's not.
It's probably still worth.
It's not about to blow up.
Yeah. If Lanky's doing that pace at the end of the race on the hards, it's probably still worth trying to make the end if the tyres make it. Lux Apex gets out the way there for Flavor, seemingly, just not wanting to get involved in the fight at the front. He is completely entitled to fight these two behind him, but seemingly just choosing not to for the sake of their fight.
And like I said, if Lanky can make the end, it's definitely a better choice than pitting. I think he should only pit if he has to. If he's gonna get a puncture otherwise. Because there's no way he gains the time back that he has to make, has to lose by making another stop. It's about a 30-second pit loss.
The Lux Apex is in now, having done 13 laps on those tyres. Did give Pocho the overtake mode on that time around, but Pocho being 2 seconds behind Flavors, it probably won't make the biggest of differences. As Petter comes up the pit lane, a lap down to the top 2. And Flavors does seem to be able to show off that pace a little bit. in the second stint. Now that he's clear of Boccio, having got the advantage through the undercut, Lux Apex is
Yeah, that's quite impressive.
Yeah, Lux Apex is
Despite
going
the
to come out
tire
in seventh.
disadvantage for Flavors now, he's still pulling a gap.
Yeah, I mean, the one lap tire advantage at this stage probably isn't going to be a big difference. It's going to be...
It could be like 4 or 5%.
Yeah, but I feel like that time
It's not
difference isn't
crazy, but
I mean, like in terms
I
of
would
time
say it's
difference
definitely
at this stage.
something.
Yeah, but with a 3 versus a 2 lap old tire, it probably won't be the biggest of differences. Surely it will matter more about if the tires do struggle to make it. It would be
Nah, not really, because also a tire on like 85 is not much slower than a tire on 80. It's just, it's not. There aren't really these heavy cliffs anymore, like it was on 23 maybe, where like you go from 29% to 30% and you lose a second of lap time, like exaggeration, but you know what I mean. It's more, it's very gradual, but faster in the gradual, if you get me, than it used to be a few years ago, where the tire wear wasn't really, like undercuts are not nearly as powerful back in the day. But it's more like a consistent 2 or 3 tenths, you know, probably more like 1 or 2 for 1 lap advantage, but it definitely it's 1 or 2 tenths advantage every lap for the rest of the race.
Yeah. And then he's 2 seconds behind at the moment, and can he get the most out of that difference?
And so far it looks good for Flavors. I mean, he's actually, I think, opened the gap up more since pit, so that's what I meant by that's impressive, that he can still like overcome that little disadvantage of having the slightly more worn tire. And yeah, he's putting Pocho at distance. Well, Pocho is definitely still within, you know, like distance of there being a threat to Flavors. So Flavors definitely still needs to keep the foot down, keep pushing, and make sure he keeps that gap the way it is right now. But it's definitely them two for the race win. Like even if he makes the end, he's not going to get anywhere near them now with the after the disconnect now with a big gap and worse tires. And Akosin, of course, hasn't got a tire issue, but he's even further behind. So yeah, it's definitely the fight between Flavors and Pocho for P1, and Lanky and Akosin are fighting for P3. And then Jonathan looks fairly lowly in 5th here.
Yeah.
Zemico has been caught by Lux Apex in the battle for P6.
Pocho burned some battery on that lap to try and close up to Flavors, I think, because he's on 0 as he crosses the line, so that's going to really cost him for this entire following that. Lanky just dropping time quite fast to this top 2, and quite possibly that is the 4-lap tire difference on display, because that is a big tire offset. Because if you're saying it's like a tenth or 2 per lap, you're now looking at anywhere from 4 to 8 tenths a lap in terms of that tire offset.
Lux Apex right now trying to work his way around Zemico. He's already looking for a move down towards turn 1, had to back out of it. But I think now the move is going to probably happen down into Chapel, although Zemico has got a good battery to defend with. Let's see. Lux Apex now the slipstream, pulling out to the right-hand side into the S section. Will turn to the outside for the second part. Zemico keeps it in there. They make a bit of contact, and Zemico almost got round. Good save, though, from the Ferrari. And good spot from Lux Apex lets him back through.
And it's the second time those two have clashed in this race so far, and the second time that Lux Apex gives the position back straight away. Yeah, just seeing or just knowing that he's at fault, or he feels he was at fault, gives the place back so he doesn't want to be... He just doesn't want to ruin their fight in the long run. He just... Yeah, it's just nice to see him giving the place back, not just trying to drive off. Because it might be better for his race if he does that. You know, get out of the fight, don't let the other car near you. But with Zemico on a 2-stop anyway, they most likely won't be too close by the checker flag.
Yeah, I mean, Zemico has to make another stop. It's only 2 mediums so far. And I would say it's probably coming soon. I mean, 7 laps on this tire, I think 10 on the first one. Or 9, something like that. So it's going to have to be a stop onto some of the hards. Well, or maybe softs. That'd be quite ambitious though. Sooner rather than later, and then... Ooh, probably P9. I mean, it is very, very long pit lane.
Yeah.
Maybe Action Rick will be in region at the end, especially with the track limit penalty that Action Rick has got, 3 seconds.
Yeah, it doesn't look... Zemaku's chances don't look amazing. Don't know. Like, Action Rick and Scooby went quite long on their mediums, so they probably aren't going to be in too much tire trouble by the end of the race.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain that everyone is battles on one-stop except Zemiku, who has to be on a 2-stop, and then Lanky, I'm unsure.
Yeah.
Because Lanky would have probably pit again by now if he wanted to.
Zemeku's already dropped 4 seconds to Lux Apex, which is the tyre difference. 3 lap old hards versus 8 lap old mediums. You can see just...
Oh, Lanky's in!
Yeah, like, he's failed. He's got 8 laps to go. He's done 9 on those hards. He's got to do... Yeah, he's got to do another 9 laps on these ones.
Yeah, now he's got a tyre advantage of 6 laps over Lux Apex and Jonathan. And not a whole lot of laps to make up that time. He might even come out behind Lux Apex.
He will finish ahead of Lux Apex. I don't know about Jonathan, though, as he comes out of the pit lane. Zemaku in. He's spared in the pits. That's going to cost him even further. Realistically means he's got no chance of fighting Action Rick at the end. And
Lanky comes out between Scooby and Lux Apex in P6.
But with a 4-lap tyre difference and 8 laps to go, he's going to need half a second a lap on Lux Apex if he wants to make up that pit stop time. Or not even. He's not going to make up the pit stop time. It's just to make up that gap that or that deficit he's currently trailing by. He needs half a second a lap. It might be doable, but...
Look at these gaps. You have to consider he was like, what, 4 seconds ahead of Akazin?
Yeah.
And now, I mean, Jonathan is 13 behind Akuzin, and Lux Apex 5.5 behind Akuzin, and then Lanky is 4 behind Lux Apex. He's lost so much time with that extra stop. It's such a stupidly long pit lane. It's
because it's a 60 as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it's both a long one and a 60 kph pit lane. So even though you can cut sort of the Club and Vale section with the pit exit on this layout, it still loses you all of that time.
Yeah. And I guess it's because the entry and exit both have a corner in them. Both under speed limit, so that's why.
I believe the reason actually is that it's a rather tight pit lane.
Yeah, that too as well. Like I feel like there being a corner under the speed limit must be also a factor.
And I think it used to be 80, but they changed it after some... Like, I remember something at Silverstone, some like pit lane incident that changed something, but I'm not sure if that was regarding the speed limit, because I don't remember like anyone being run over. That would definitely remember that.
Yeah.
So I don't think maybe it's something else that I have in mind.
After Schumacher tried to win the race in the pit lane or something.
Yeah, no, that would make no sense. It also was a different pit lane, obviously, at the time. That was still the old start pit straight. Actually, I think... No, I have nothing. I don't know what I was thinking. You know what? The race is pretty uneventful right now. Everyone is pretty far apart. I can just ask Google.
Yeah, no, I was just in the process of doing
Why
that.
was the Silverstone pit lane speed limit reduced? Okay, so the Google AI tells me it's 80, which is a complete lie.
There's an F1 article about at Select Grand Prix, and in the interest of safety, this limit is reduced to 60, and this is outlined by the race director in his pre-event notes. That.
Yeah, I know why it's 60, but why is 60 at Silverstone? Because I remember it being 80.
For safety concerns, apparently.
What safety concerns?
There are 2 corners in it, I'd imagine.
No, but the 2 corners are not part of the pit lane. Well, the first one is.
So, yeah, like... I don't know. Maybe it's deemed to be too tight. Poggio's closed in a bit on Flavors on this lap, but it's now only 1.6 seconds. Still not within the 1 second margin. Poggio does have that tyre difference, which might play a factor in the last few laps, you never know.
What I'm finding actually is, at least that's what I'm being told on Google from the AI, I haven't got the time to fact check this AI, is that it's 80 in real life and 60 on the game.
Is it?
I don't know. I don't think it's 80 in real
It'll
life.
be in the race direct. Hold on, I am going to go in the FIA documents to find the race director's notes from Silverstone, because that's what we've come to. Because there's a Discord bot that just takes the API from the FIA website and posts it, and so you could.
I thought for a second the FIA used the Discord bot and you had access to that Discord bot.
No, it's the FIA, like this Discord bot just uses the API from the.
Yeah, that makes more sense. Like it just posts the FIA public stuff from their website onto the Discord, so it's more easily like found. Poggio has almost got Flavors, by the way. He's almost won the second. They are both also on 0% battery. So these guys are both pushing to the absolute limit. Meanwhile, we are chatting about pit lane speed limits.
And there's no mention of it being 60 that I can see. Like in
Can
the
you
pit-
like control F?
Oh yeah, I'm on my phone and it posts
Oh, yeah.
images. Race Directors Competition notes. Let's go to the actual website where it's a PDF, rather than where it just takes screenshots of it and posts those images. Hold on.
Lux Apex, Jonathan and Lanky are all converging in which are needed at the race now. Lux Apex only 1.5 seconds away from the Alpine. And then Lanky with significantly better tires is 3 seconds behind them both. If Lux Apex and Jonathan start battling, that could be the ticket Lanky needs to get back into the fight for P4.
Yeah.
But the podium definitely off the cards for him.
I don't think he'll close that up without the two in front of him fighting. Hold on.
Maybe to Jonathan, because his tires are a bit older and he seems to be struggling more. But Lux Apex, I think, is definitely safe from Lanky.
Yeah, he's not closed all that much to Lux Apex since coming out of the pits. He's gained about half a second, which isn't going to get him to where he needs. Race Directors Competition notes. Go to the actual PDF. Let's have a look. Speed limit. There's no mention of 60 just anywhere in it. Maybe Google AI is right for once, and it is actually an 80 pit lane in real life.
That's innocent. Why the hell isn't the 60 pit lane in the game?
You'd think when if that is.
Oh,
true,
here goes Lux Apex. He's going for the move on Jonathan up the inside into Cops, but the battery is completely empty. So I expect the Alpine with the switchback. Holy shit!
Straight back through. In Cops, not even waiting for the subsequent straight, where Lux Apex would start to struggle with the battery. Just goes straight back through Cops, and it somehow worked.
What a move! That was mental! In the middle of Cops, Lux Apex has the tiniest bit wide and Jonathan cuts underneath him. Now Jonathan doesn't use the battery down towards the final few corners and lets Lux Apex go.
Maybe if the tyres will cope, he can get back past having now got the overtake mode. We'll see. Because
now he has the advantage over Lux Apex, and this will also help him stay away from Lanky.
Yeah.
Unless he starts battling like hell with Lux Apex, the ultimate will keep him, will speed him up a little bit. He goes a bit deep down towards turn 1. How has he not gotten a penalty yet? I've seen so much of that, and there's so few track limit warnings. Apparently, as well. Only Action Rick and Peta have track limit penalties, but I see so many drivers just going straight off at turn 1.
I don't know. If everyone does it, they can't punish them all.
Well, they can. They have. I've seen many races in League Racing where the entire field has track limit penalties. And Poggio, he is finally within a second of Flavors, it looks like.
He is going to be within the second where it matters, because they're both out of battery, not just Poggio. And now he has the overtake mode again.
Yeah, and just in time. He's now got a couple of laps to recharge that battery and then go on the attack against Flavors. So the fight for the win is very much on. Now, right near the race, it's really heating up again. Jonathan and Lux Apex battling over 4th, Lanky chasing them from behind on much better tires, and out in front, Pocho and Flavors are going to be having a battle for the win.
Yeah. Wait, didn't Hamilton speed in the pit lane in real life in Silverstone? Or was that... He got
Fucking
8 now.
Stop on the pit lane, we have a race on again.
I'm thinking about the pit lane still. It's a yellow flag and full start. In Silverstone. I don't know, he just got under investigation for everything. It wasn't speeding. And Jonathan's still there with Lux Apex. He didn't go back through, but maybe now would be the opportunity down the pit straight into
turn 1 isn't really
yeah.
a place you want to send a risky move into.
Yeah, it's...
He will sit up for a later move. I'm not even too sure. He might just wait for the last lap, honestly.
Yeah, quite possibly.
Because if he overtakes him now, all he does is just give Lux Apex the overtake mode and he'll be re-overtaken. So I think Jonathan's task is to stay with him, keep Lanky away, and then see if he can have a go on the last lap.
Yeah, and I think Pocho's going to be trying to do the same thing, closing up, saving the battery, and go for it on that final lap.
A little bit from concerning for Jonathan as well. He's still negative on fuel, 0.3 in the minus. I really, really hope I didn't mess him up, because he asked me before the race about fuel. He said 1 lap. I said you could probably get away with -3. I meant it.
Could. Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, he's close to 0. So if he went -3 and this is his fuel now, like, it might be fine.
You'd hope.
So I really hope if he listened to me, it goes right, because I don't want to be the idiot. But I think he has now lost the 1 second to Lux Apex, and now Lanky's not far behind, and the battle for P5 between Jonathan and Lanky is very much on. Out in front, Flavors' battery is completely empty, so is Pocho's. Holy shit. I would have thought Pocho has recharged the battery by now, but nope.
I think he's just trying everything he can to get close, and if it stays like this, when neither of them have any battery, it's going to be very difficult. Lanky with a 3-second time penalty!
Well, he's P6. He's thrown.
Yeah, just as he looked like he was getting back into the fight, he's picked up a 3 second, and that is going to put any end to his hopes of maybe top 5, maybe even the top 4 if he was lucky. But now it's very much going to be P6 at the very best, and it's unlikely you're going to lose a further 15 seconds to Scooby-Doo, but you never know.
We're heading on to the last lap. Both Flavors and Pocho below 10% battery coming to the last few corners, near 0% even. So now Pocho has to try and find a way around as Lanky Brown makes a move on Jonathan into Cops.
But then it won't matter in the grand scheme of things with that penalty. And now we go on to the final lap and we see whether Pocho can hunt down and get the move on Flavors across this final lap. It's one
very close
of Silverstone, yeah. He was about
Lanky
3 tenths
pulls away a bit now towards turn 1 as he uses more battery than a Red Bull driver.
Yeah.
Pocho's got 1 lap, 1 opportunity really, is all he needs.
Yeah.
He's a bit closer than this, because he hasn't got a crazy battery advantage. He's got about 10% at this point. And the slipstream, of course. Can he work with that?
He's got the overtake mode. He's got more recharge.
Now he's got about 30% advantage. Flavors used a lot more into the run into Chapel. The problem is that Flavors is now a bit further away, so Porsche will have to use something to get close again. And this is the whole strategy of the battery. It's really coming into effect on the last lap.
And it's not a big difference between the two of them now as they head into Cops. Flavors still with that 4.5 to 5 tenth advantage on the road. Pocho has the overtake mode. They both have no battery now as they head into Luffield. And surely it's Flavors to lose as they head into Luffield for the final time. And then it's going to be into the right of Brooklands.
Oh, Pocho's
all over the back of him. But is he going to have enough of an exit? Here they go, coming out of the... And coming out of Brooklands for the final time down the Wellington Straight is surely going to be all or nothing. Flavors comes the inside. Pocho gets the run. He's going to try send it up the inside. They both go so deep as there's almost a little bit of contact as they try to fight their way down to the final corner. Pocho's on the outside. Flavors wins at the final corner. He's trying to stay in the fight, and now he's still 19 seconds clear of accident. He should be okay. Pocho across the line to win. And the Flavors is going to still come home in second place. He put it all on the line on that final lap. Needed to get that traction if he wanted to take the win. but he just couldn't
Yeah, Pocho had the
quite
tiny
get it.
advantage. Pocho was that little bit ahead on the exit, and I think Flavors tried to compensate for that by being early on the power, like early on the battery, and it sent him around.
He had to compensate for
I think it didn't cost him anything. He would have been P2 regardless, but he's still gonna be annoyed, I think, with that.
Because he had to try
Lux
something.
Apex.
Yeah, Lux Apex comes home P4. Lanky across the line in 5th. Jonathan, 2.2 seconds behind him across the line, does get that place. And I don't
Good to see
think
Jonathan didn't
he
run
ran
out of fuel. I would have been
Yeah.
very mad myself for that.
It's going to be Scooby-Doo in 7th, Action Rick 8th, Zemiku going to come home in 9th, and yeah, it's just the 2-stop did not work out just because of how long that pit lane is. And seemingly there, yeah, just Flavors trying to compensate for how... He was disadvantaged in so many ways there coming out of that final corner. Pocho was slightly ahead on the racing line with better tyres and with the overtake mode. It was very unlikely Flavors was going to come out of that ahead. So he had to try something. And it didn't quite work out. Didn't cost him, though, in the grand scheme of things. Yeah. But that was...
Oh, what end to the race?
Yeah.
That move from Pocho, like, looking for the inside, then the outside, then Flavors goes deep, Pocho gets alongside, and then Flavors spins out. Just an unbelievable end to the race that was.
Yeah. And from a race that looked like it was going to be just big old gaps, further opening, not very much interesting going on, ended up turning out quite well. And hopefully we get something a bit more entertaining on tomorrow evening with maybe a bigger grid and slightly better track.
Well, we'll see. I mean, based on records of the last few seasons, we can expect Austria reverse tomorrow, which I'm sure the guys are very much looking forward to.
I prefer Austria reverse to Silverstone reverse. And I'm not saying that because I won it the first time Div 2 went there.
Well, our full results then. Pocho wins the race ahead of Flavors. Akuzin in 3rd place on the podium, followed by Lux Apex with the fast lap of the race as well in P4. Jonathan in 5th, followed by Lanky in 6th, and Scoop 7th, Action Rick 8th, Zemiku 9th, and Petter in P10.
Hold on, I'm going to look up the pit lane thing again while I have a chance. I was going to hope I could see like on the fastest pit stop thing and whether the speed limit was cut. Like I could see the speed they were going, but it was covered by the stupid thing. I don't know how I'd find what the actual pit lane speed is in real life. Because I was hoping someone would have like sped by 0.1 in practice, but no one did. And it doesn't... It probably is just an 80 pit lane in real life. I don't know. Because, yeah, they definitely don't lose 30 seconds in real life, do they? They lose more like 20-something at Silverstone. So it can't be...
because I think in real life there actually are some 2-stops in Silverstone.
Yeah. But also, like, in a longer race, it's a bit more viable, but...
Yeah, but they've doubled the time
it's
to,
like... It's like a 22 pit stop, I think, at Silverstone.
Yeah, so it's like more normal, you know?
Yeah. It's still a long pit lane, but it's definitely not like that. Yeah. That was the Mystery Grand Prix of Division 3. Silverstone reverse. Again. And yeah, like the two with the most experience of Pocho and Flavors. Flavors having done it last season, Pocho having done the track like the other day apparently. That really showed in this race. Pocho taking the win in the end, which it didn't look like he was going to for most of that stint, closing the final few laps, made the very nice move on that final lap, and then he probably had it anyway, but Flavors' mistake just secured it for him. And then
what a way
with the podium as well.
Yeah, what a way for Pocho's first win for the title to finally come after he's been here for so long, like 2018, 19. Almost the whole time that the league has been a thing, so it's very, very nice to see a race win for Pocho finally after all this time. And yeah, like I said, what a way to win it, literally at the last corner.
Yeah.
With a last corner move, all enough. That's what racing's all about, and you absolutely love to see it. And huge congratulations.
Yeah, and I think I'm glad we had that finish in the end because it didn't seem like we were going to. But Yeah, so I think that's a pretty good endorsement of what a Mystery Grand Prix can do. And for that reason, all viewers should make sure they watch Division 2 tomorrow, because that will hopefully be better. But otherwise, I think as Division 3 goes, that's pretty much it. Unless we can work out what the actual Silverstone pit lane speed limit is in the next minute before it just starts dragging on.
No, I think we should just leave it there. And yeah, tomorrow we have another Mystery Grand Prix. We will see what track it ends up being. It's the same wheel as today, with Silverstone Reverse taking off it. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, and it'd be fun if we do get Austria Reverse in Division 2, because then everyone is just going to hate their lives. Because it'll be the third time in a row Division 2 has literally just randomly pulled Austria Reverse at the Mystery Grand Prix. It's done it twice in a row. Maybe it'll be 3. Hopefully not, for the sanity of the drivers. Although if you like seeing the drivers go insane, which is a funny thing to do when you don't have to actually deal with the driving, maybe you want it to be Austria again. But yeah, I think mostly that is... Well, not just mostly, that is... all we've got for this evening. We've got... Oh, and after this race, we've got Monaco next in Division 3. Or in all divisions. But going Mystery Grand Prix then Monaco is something. But yeah, I hope all viewers enjoyed the stream we had on today. Hope you enjoyed the race, and hopefully you can see as many people around tomorrow evening as possible for the Division 2 Mystery Grand Prix. I doubt we have a stream on Saturday. We never have a stream on Saturday, but there's Division 1 as well, doing a Mystery Grand Prix. And then next week, we've got Monaco, all 3 divisions. As we round off August.
All 4 even.
4?
Well, F2 also doing Monaco the same week as F1.
Monaco the same week.
Yeah, F2 is doing Monaco the same week as F1. So there's the next few weeks, it's just all suffering.
Yeah,
everyone in the league
Monaco
is hating.
So that should be fun. But yeah, that's all we got time for this evening. Thank you everyone for watching this stream. I hope to see you around in the future. But yeah, for this evening then, enjoy the rest of your evening. And yeah, all that's left from me is to say goodnight.